Praise Yah. This is your Akazaki Yahoo. And I start this broadcast as I start every broadcast by giving all praise, honor, and great esteem to the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua, Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say Shalom Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait till the day that the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation under the Most High power, once again under one covenant. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom to the family and to my panel as well. Joined by Akjabril. Shabbat shalom, Aki.
Shabbat shalom.
Hallelujah. Also joined by my most esteemed Kenanaya. Shabbat shalom, Aki.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Mark. Shabbat Shalom, family. Shabbat Shalom, Yasharal.
Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High. We've had some very interesting and candid conversations over the last bit, getting ready for this study, and looking so forward to getting into the study and going deeper into the book of Exodus or Shemot. Yesterday, when we left off, we saw where Moshe used a bit of wisdom in dealing with his father-in-law and with uh, Jethro, the Midianite uh, priest, and they had smitten. Of course, they had gotten away from the hand of Pharaoh, and Pharaoh and his armies were wiped out. And they had Amalek had come against the children of Israel in the wilderness, and Joshua showed exactly what he should be and obeying the voice of the leadership of Moshe and going against Amalek and through the power of the Most High, discomforted, as the scripture said, discomforted them with the sword. And we also saw that the children of Israel spent time murmuring against the Most High, and the Most High was pretty sick of it. So all of this is for our learning as we prepare uh, for our deliverance from these lands that we have been scattered. So let's continue to chapter number 19. All praises to the Most High Power. Hallelujah. Chapter 19, verse number 1. It says, in the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Mizraim, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. From they, for they were departed from Ramadim and were come to the desert of Sinai and had pitched in the wilderness. And there Israel encamped before the mount. And Moshe went up unto the Most High. And Yahuwah called unto him out of the mount, saying, thus shall you say unto the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, you have seen what I did to the Mizrahites, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. So he's laying out the principles for us here, giving us stipulations. It says if
it's conditions. You know what I mean? If you all obey, what do he say in that verse 5?
Let's go back.
Yeah. If you obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. So when we miss the mark, don't get me wrong, he still loves us, but we're not that peculiar people. What he had in mind for us, you know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. Our people love Devarim 7 and 6. For thou art a Kodesh people unto Yahuwah your power, and Yahuwah your power hath chosen you to be a separate people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. We love that,
Mm-hmm.
but we barely, rarely see us come to Shemot chapter 19 and 5. For therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then we don't like them conditions,
Right.
So we tend not to run to this verse. We run to Devarim 7 and 6. So hallelujah. Verse number 19. Verse number 6, chapter number 19. Hallelujah. And you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a Kodesh nation. These are the words in which you shall speak unto the children of Israel. So the Most High is giving Moshe the particulars. Take this to the children, take this to the nation, and share this with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all stipulation. Let's continue, verse number 7. And Moshe came and called the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all the words which Yahuwah commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, all that Yahuwah hath spoken, we will do. And Moshe returned the words of the people unto Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, lo, I come unto you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you, and believe you forever. And Moshe told the words to the people, the words of the people unto Yahuwah. So the Most High is coming down here, and he wants to speak directly to Moshe, but he's doing it in the sight of the people so
Come.
that they believe. And I love this. He put this here, and believe you, Moshe, forever. And what we read in the book of Moshe, the
Mm-hmm.
law of that was given to him for us, and we believe this law.
Come.
All of these generations later, I don't even know how many generations it was from Moshe to where we are now. Uh,
Well, from let's see, from Moshe unto David was 13
14.
generations. From
Mhm.
David to the captivity was 13 generations, and then uh was something like that. I know that it's
Yeah,
42 generations from Adam until Mashiach.
mhm,
So, from Mashiach to now, we know that's 2,000 years.
mhm.
Um, have to assume that it'd be more than 42 generations.
Kind. Yeah, it's a long stretch, a very long stretch. So all praises. Let's continue here, verse 10. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the third day. For the third day Yahuwah will come down in the sight of the people upon Mount Sinai. And you shall set bounds unto the people round about, saying, take heed to yourselves, that you go not up to the mount, or touch it, or touch the border of it. Whosoever toucheth the mount shall surely be put to death. So he don't even want you coming up and putting your hand on the mountain. I'll be
Hmm.
trying to see. This is where he's coming down. So this is his seat here. So this mountain is about to be Kodesh, and he's getting us in that mindset in this passage here, having them to sanctify themselves and wash their clothes. Praise God. Verse 13: There shall not an hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through. whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet sounded long, you shall come up to the mount. So, yeah, he's there. Don't touch his seat. This is his seat. He's coming down from the Shamaim, and he's going to sit on the top of this mount. Do not touch the seat, as if you do, your life will be lost.
Mm-hmm.
Praise God. Verse 14. And that's hello, Shalika, before we move forward. It's interesting that we get this beast. It says, shall not a hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through, whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. So he's saying, no, not even animals, don't even let an animal come up to the mount. If an animal touched the mount, it's got to die. A beast. Interesting. Okay, let's keep going. Verse 14. And Moshe went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, be ready against the third day. Come not at your wives. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there was thunder and lightning and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that were in the camp trembled. So I'm trying to put myself in this position here. You done made preparation for 3 days, and on the third day in the morning you get thunder and lightning. So you know that's already a fearful thing, because that's nothing that we ready for ever, even though it happens regularly.
Come.
We never ready for it. And a thick cloud. So imagine the cloud getting thick and moving. And then it says the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud. So it's exceeding loud. Like, you know what loud is. This is exceeding. This is greater than loud. This is
Mm-hmm.
deafening. This is a train whistle is loud. And we all been at the train tracks, and the whistle and the train come through, and whoop, whoop, and that how loud that is.
Mm-hmm.
This is louder than that. This is shaking the ground loud. So let's continue here. I'm trying to paint a picture in our minds here. Verse 17. And Moshe brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with the Most High, and they stood at the near part of the mount. The headline here says Yahuwah visits Sinai. Verse 18. And Mount Sinai was altogether in a smoke, because Yahuwah descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly.
Wow. This is a powerful image, Doc.
This is a vivid picture. I mean, I can see this. I'm playing this in my mind as I'm reading it. That's why it's hard to hold it together. So I'll praise it. Yes, indeed. This is wow. This is miraculous. Verse 19. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moshe spake, and the Most High answered him by a voice. So they heard a voice.
Mm-hmm.
Verse number 20. And Yahuwah came down upon Sinai on the top of the mount, and Yahuwah called Moshe up to the top of the mount, and Moshe went up. How brave is Moshe? That he just, imagine all of this going on. You got thunder and lightning and earth shaking and smoke everywhere and fire and all of this stuff. And Moshe just walked up there like, okay.
Right.
All praises. I pray that when the Most High called me, I walk right up to Him as well, through everything that will be taking place. I'll have the fortitude just to walk straight up to Him, and I pray we all have that.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. Verse 21. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, Go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto Yahuwah to gaze, and many of them perish. So don't let them know. Don't do it. If they're gonna
Hmm.
die, they're gonna die as you come up in here. Verse 22. And let the priests also come near to Yahuwah, sanctify themselves, lest Yahuwah break forth upon them. Mm. He's getting pretty it seems like his tolerance is pretty much gone.
And I'm wondering, at this point, who the priest would be. Uh, you know,
Guess whoever
'cause-
he's appointed at this point, which you mentioned the firstborn, would be his.
okay,
So
Khan.
maybe it's the firstborn earlier,
Hey,
so
hey, good point. Good
Khan,
point.
Khan, yes indeed. Hallelujah. Um, Verse 23. And Moshe said unto Yahuwah, the people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you charged us, saying, set bounds about the mount and sanctify it. And Yahuwah said unto him, away, get you down, and you shall come up, you and Aharon with you, and let not the priests of the people, and let not the priests and the people break through to come up to Yahuwah, lest he break forth upon them. So Moshe went down unto the people and spake unto them. Okay, I'm trying to get an understanding of 24 here. So he had told them that it had already been secured. Basically, it was secured and they couldn't come up. So in 24 it says, and Yahuwah said unto him, away, get you down, and you shall come up, and Aharon with you. But let not the priests and the people break through to come up unto Yahuwah, lest he break forth upon them.
When I hear that, I'm thinking in my mind that this must have been in some of the people's thoughts
Mm,
to go up and get a closer look.
I gotta see what this is. I gotta see what this is about.
Yeah, Khan.
Moshe walked up there. I can walk up there too.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, most definitely, most definitely. All praises. So that was chapter 19. All praises. We already familiar with chapter 20, of course, but let's go
Hmm.
through it. Let's go ahead and
It
go
is.
through it.
It's the contract.
Yes, indeed.
And
Hallelujah.
Moshe is the middleman, has been the middleman in securing. He had in chapter 19 we just read up how he had gone up and the Most High is telling him, you all are going to be my peculiar people if
Mm-hmm.
you all obey.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes down and tells the people what the Most High said. They say we agree. He's
Mm-hmm.
going back up, and then he comes back with the covenant.
Right. Come. Yes, indeed. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. All right. Yep. We get the headline, the Ten Commandments here. All right. So this is Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. It says, and the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah your power, which brought you out of the land of Mizraim, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no idols before me. You shall not make unto you any images, any graven image of any likeness of anything that is in Shamaim above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. You shall not bow down yourself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah your power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, to the third and the fourth generation of them who hate me, showing mercy unto thousands of them who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of Yahuwah your power in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it set apart. 6 days shall ye labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah your power. In it you shall not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, your maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within your gate. For in 6 days Yahuwah made Shamayim, and the earth, and the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahuwah barak the Sabbath day, and set it apart. Honor your father and your mother. So look, you say something?
Yeah, Con,
Okay.
and I don't read this anywhere, but something in my heart is telling me something. Okay,
Right.
we had just talked about how, well, we were talking earlier that back in chapter 16
Mm-hmm.
was the first time that our people, our ancestors, were given the Shabbat. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that we know that they were keeping the Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
In the previous chapter, it says that if you obey me, you're going to be my peculiar people. Uh, could it be that Abraham, Isaac, Israel, that these people of the covenant, sons of the covenant, could have possibly been keeping the Sabbath before, but he's, as a whole, he wants our people to be a peculiar people unto himself. So he's given us this commandment. I don't know. I don't read that, but something in my heart is just telling me, is telling me that, perhaps uh our patriarchs might have been keeping this Sabbath.
Uh,
Well,
definitely. Oh, go ahead, Jabril. You got something?
there's something called Noahide laws. You ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
So, the Sabbath was sanctified from the first Shabbat, and it's my understanding that everybody who stayed close to Adam, all the way down to Noah,
Mhm.
would have kept Shabbat, and then Noah would have commanded all of his sons to keep Shabbat. There's only like 7 laws that the Most High had given to Noah to keep. And you can find them in the books of Noah, I believe in Jubilees. But Shabbat's certainly included in it. Turns out Japheth and Ham didn't want to do as they were told. Shem did. Shem kept the covenant. And you might have heard Hebrews tossing around the idea that Melchizedek was Shem. Within our traditions, it certainly held fast that Abraham spent years with Shem around the same place we know as Salem or Jerusalem, whereas Mount Ararat's not far from there, where the ark would have landed. But certainly in his upbringing under his father, Abraham wouldn't have kept Shabbat, but it's curiously linked that his transition, recognizing the Most High as the Most High Elohim when he met Melchizedek.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of scholars who teach that was actually Shem, that Abraham would have received the covenant to keep Shabbat from that point forward. But yeah, so just to share, it's certainly in our traditions. Now it's not in the biblical text, I don't believe. But yes, certainly there. If you look into the laws that Noah might have kept, or the Noahide laws, if you Google that, laws that Noah kept, laws Noah received from God, if you Google anything like that, it'll take you there.
Praise Yah. Uh, so, in the studies here that I've seen in the last through this book of Bereshit, that took me to Not Bereshit, Salika. Yeah, Salika, that's right. I'm saying it right. Bereshit, chapter 19. It took me to Bereshit, chapter 19. And can you see this on the screen up?
Con.
Okay. Go ahead and start at verse 1 here. We're going to read down to about verse 3.
All right. This is the book of Bereshit, Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, Behold now, my masters, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, But we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
Salika, okay, stop right there, if you will. So, ironically, here, what we find written is that Lot, the nephew of Abraham, knew here when these men came that he baked them unleavened bread.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think that that's there for any reason, or you think it's trying to tell us of a time frame?
And it said
Uh,
at even also.
kind, kind. So, absolutely, yeah. So when we go back here, uh, we see two angels, two messengers to Sodom at even, and that he did bake them unleavened bread. So they did eat, and they ate unleavened. So is this an indication of you only feed messengers of the Most High unleavened, or is this an indication that the time of the year was unleavened
Con,
bread?
con.
It's just during the time of what would end up being the Passover, what we just witnessed in Exodus. So something to think about. I can't say 1,000% one way or another, but it's definitely something to think about, something to mull over. So
Con.
it's very well possible that they had it, and that he was bringing us into it here, because as we can see in the last chapter, the intensity was definitely turned up, and he's showing himself and making a lot of, look here, if you do this, you're gonna die. So there's a lot of that going on as well. So
Mm-hmm.
hallelujah. Back to Shemot chapter 20 and verse 12. Uh, Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land in which Yahuwah your power giveth you. You shall not you shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor's. And the people saw the thunder and the lightning and the noise of the trumpet and the mount smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. So they were afraid.
Uh-huh.
He's showing his power, and they are afraid, much like I'm sure that we would have been in that situation. Verse 19. And they said unto Moshe, speak you with us, and we will hear. But let not the Most High speak with us, lest we die.
Con.
Like,
You
just
know,
him talking with us, we gonna die. Go ahead.
Slack, my fault.
Okay.
When I'm out bringing this truth to our people, I often encounter people that become fearful
Hmm.
when they realize what's going on, and I tell them that that's much how our ancestors behaved as well. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? When they saw the power of the Most High, and this is the verse that I will cite. You know what I mean?
Kind. Yes, indeed. Yeah, Exodus, Shemot chapter 20 and verse 19. Yes, indeed, the people was far off, like, mm, mm. I just imagine, Moshe trying to say, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay." They're like, mm. "No, I ain't doing that. That's that's
Right.
that's that's some power beyond my comprehension." There,
Indeed.
yes, indeed. Uh, chapter 20 and verse 20. And Moshe said unto the people, "Fear not, for Yahuwah has come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your face, that you sin not." So that should definitely. I don't know how you motivated, how you can get to sin after that point. After seeing all of this, just the picture in my mind, is enough to say, you know what? No, I don't want Yahuwah coming after me. I
Hmm.
certainly don't want to be on his bad side. Seeing is this is light what he's doing. He's not even doing anything. He's literally just coming down from the cloud, and this is not even him. This is his representative.
Come.
Coming down from the cloud, and with smoke and fire and thunder and lightning, and you know, it's that stuff is beyond our comprehension. That's why it's not. That's why it's not easy for us, and you want to be indoors when the storm comes and that thunder. Boom, 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 boom. I've been in thunderstorms before. We grown people on here. We've been in thunderstorms, and you see that lightning hit afar off, and you're like, whoo! It light up the dark.
Yeah.
We was driving one night, Doc, and we was having that storm, and
Indeed.
couldn't do nothing but pray.
Right.
Couldn't do nothing but pray because you completely powerless in that situation. Ain't nothing you can do. Because if that lightning bolt come to you, it's it.
Hmm.
Yeah, kind of. So let's continue. Verse number 21. And the people stood afar off, and Moshe drew near unto the thick darkness where Yahuwah was, where the Most High was. Salika.
Now, I
Oh,
can
go
I
ahead.
so you
Go ahead.
say that the Most High wasn't there. This is just his representative.
hmm Yeah, this is
So we
representative.
just read that last verse
hmm
and said where the Most High was
Yeah, where the Most High was. Yeah, but understand that this
at
is
work.
not El. When you get into here, this show here.
You're saying it's just the angel of the Lord.
Yeah, this is his representative. This is not
You're
him.
saying that that the Most High himself never came down to the mountain.
You see as I understand it now. This is how I understand it. As you see this word here. This is the plural for this word El.
Elohim. What is
hmm
the plural? What now? That's the plural word form of writing words.
hmm
But what does that word Elohim mean to you?
Elohim means the plural form of the Most High, which
We
means
don't,
it's not him.
there's no plural form of one.
Yes, there is. The plural would be El, uh,
Well,
which
but
I
no,
believe is here.
I understand linguistically according to verbal syntax.
hmm
But when the Most High was just himself before he created anything, there's
hmm
no plurality to him whatsoever. The concept of plurality hadn't yet been created. And there's no plural to the Most High. The Most High is one. Far be it for us, the sons and daughters of Abraham, the children of Israel, to ever ascribe to the Most High plurality. That's a Roman thing.
Current. What I'm saying is, when we read in the text and we see the term for Elohim, the God, we see that as that's not the Most High. We can see in the text where the Most High
Well,
name
we learned
exists.
about this in studying the mysteries of the Most High, the different names of the Most High that are used in the scripture, particularly Elohim.
hmm
And, the tradition that we received from the patriarchs, from Abraham on down, is not that Elohim means plural gods or anything. It includes a concept of oneness totally, but it does include those who speak with him, for him, represent him in the unity of his Holy Spirit and his angelic hosts,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. But even in that context, we're always supposed to understand that the Most High Himself is never more than one, and that term Elohim is only referring to a manifestation. One of the ways the Most High manifests Himself in His creation in order to interact with it. And I say all
Okay.
that to say that the unknowable, ineffable being, the Ancient of Days, can never be more than one. It's only
All
one.
right.
Okay.
All right,
So,
we'll come back to this. Like sounds like a good conversation for when we wrap up later, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Excellent. Okay, so let's continue here. Uh, is that verse 21 here? And oh, so we got verse 22. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, Thus shall you say unto the children of Israel, You have seen that I have talked with you from Shamaim, and you shall not make with me idols of silver, neither shall you make unto you idols of gold. The altar, an altar of earth, you shall make unto me, and shall sacrifice thereon your burnt offerings, and your peace offerings, your sheep and your oxen, in all places when I record my name, in all places where I record my name, Shalikah, I will come unto you and will barak you. And if you will make me an altar of stone, you shall not build it of hew stone. For if you lift up your tool upon it, you have polluted it. Neither shall you go up by steps unto mine altar, and your nakedness be not discovered thereon. So he's saying whatever you done use to build something else, you can't use that to make me anything because
Con.
you done polluted it.
And
So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, so yeah, so he had to have. I'm pretty sure he had his own set apart, uh, you know, tools, or I would say even your hands. If you don't use your hands to do anything to something else,
Well,
then you
you
come
know
to the.
what they're doing now, with the construction of the third temple
Mm-hmm,
in the land now,
mm-hmm,
uh by the Ashkenazis.
mm-hmm,
What one of the priests is doing, he's finding just stones. He's building an altar, like they've already started constructing it, and
mm-hmm,
he's building an altar just by placing stones upon a place, and that's going to be the altar where the sacrifices go.
mm-hmm.
Um, and it's not anything that they're using like a hammer to get these pieces of stone. Like it's just stone that they're finding, and
Mm-hmm.
they're just placing there, making an altar with it.
Okay, kind. So they're not using any tools; they're just building
Yeah,
it up with
con.
the rocks. Okay, kind. Okay, I've seen some in architecture in Asia where they don't use bolts or hammers or screws
Uh
or
huh.
nails. They actually fit the pieces. They smooth the wood and make it to where it fits, and it just locks itself. And
Mm.
that's how they do the buildings there, which I thought was miraculous. They had buildings standing for, they say, thousands of years that that they've done this with. And I thought, my first thought was, wow, that's amazing to have a culture that stretches back that far, that you can actually see and touch and understand, and to know that this is you, this is your people, your history, and your heritage. So, all praises. Uh, let's continue. You have anything else on chapter 20?
Not that I can think of, but you know, so we read each Sabbath. We read that portion, 1 through 17.
Hallelujah.
Uh, I remember when I used to have to read it from the script, but
Mhm.
I've read it so much now that it's just something that I memorize now. You know what I mean? And
Hallelujah.
I pray that there's that I get to the point where I can recite it in Hebrew at some point.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. It's in you, Art. It's in you. And it should be in us. That's why we do that on the Sabbath day, so that it is in us, so
Hmm.
that we can recite it and go to it because it's in our being. It's a part of who we are as this people. So hallelujah. This is Shemot chapter 21, verse 1. It says ordinances for the people. Verse 1. It says, now these are the judgments which you shall set before them. If you buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the seventh he shall go out free for nothing. And if he come in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. So now he's given us the ordinances. He's given us the Torah.
Hmm.
He's given us the understanding. He's breaking it down to the simplest form. Starting with if you take one of your own people, one of your Hebrew, this is what you got to do. So he's setting the standard here. Verse 4: If his master give him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. Ain't that something? So you give a man a wife, he come and work for you. You give him a wife. Now he can only be with you 6 years. On the seventh, you gotta let him go.
Hmm.
So you give him a wife and you have children. So they have two sets of twins. That's four children. It's time for him to go. He got to go by himself. But if he came with his own wife, then they can. I guess they can take. Let's continue. This is interesting.
It's
Uh,
gone.
yes, indeed.
These are the ordinances that make us a peculiar people. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, 7 years, and here we are. This is with a Hebrew slave, or with a Hebrew servant, as opposed to one of another nation. I'm sure we'll get to that as well. Verse 5: And if the servant shall say plainly, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, so he can stay. Verse 6: Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. Let's see what this awl is here.
Gone.
That's deep.
Khan, yeah. Yes, indeed.
It's
What you
taken
got here?
from him, but he has every right to stay and do. I don't know if you call it the righteous thing, stay with his family, rear his seed. But if
Yeah,
he his master's house, he has every right to leave after that seventh year. He has every right to his freedom. Most guys, man, hallelujah.
yes, indeed.
Hallelujah. I've got I believe Marseille.
Marseille. Okay. There's We'll go with that. Marseille. That's an all boring instrument. So, I was under the impression that this was like an earring. Um, Maybe it is. Master bore through. Um, we see it again in Devarim. You shall take an awl, an awl. and thrust it through his ear unto the door. So he's reiterating that endeavoring. So kind of, okay. So that's the only two places we see it. Uh, let's continue. Verse 16. And his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door. Oh, did I just read that? I just read that.
Yeah, con.
Let's read that. Let's go to verse 7. And if a man shall sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the men servants do. If she please not her master, who have betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he have dealt deceitfully with her. All right, let's break that down.
You know,
Says
it kind of tells us what was going on in the land. You know what people what would have been the norm, common to happen. You know what I mean? Men selling their daughters to other men and having them do rigorous work, or God forbid, selling them to some strange nation. You know what I
time.
mean?
Yeah, it's time. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. Looking at this, if she please not her master, who have betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. So that's her going back to her father, uh, to sell her unto a strange nation. He shall have no power. So I'm seeing as he can't do that. He shall have no power. Like you can't sell it to a strange nation. Seeing that he have dealt deceitfully with her. So unless you didn't converse or tricked her into that thing, uh, and kind of getting us ready to go into Canaan, to know who those people are and what kind of practices they have had in that time frame. So keeping that in mind as well. Verse 19. And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. So if you give her to your son, you can't treat her like a stranger. You got to treat her like a daughter. Verse 10. If he if he take if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. So if he don't give her her necessary food, her clothing, and her duty of marriage, he can't diminish any of that. If he does, she can go out free. So even if he take a servant and give her to his son or to himself, can't sell her to a strange nation, and you can't, uh, you can't mistreat her and take her to, not give her food, clothing, and her duty of marriage. So this is ironic. Personal injury. Let's continue. Verse number 12. He that smiteth a man so that he die shall surely be put to death. So so you can't club somebody and they pass away and it's just oops my bad. No, you gotta pay.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 13. And if a man lie not in wait, but the most high deliver him unto his hand, then I will appoint you a place whether you shall flee.
So this is speaking about an accident. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
If a man lied not in wait, so a man lying in wait to slay another man, this is an intentional murder.
Hmm.
but suppose it was a accident,
Right.
but the man still passed away. I'm
Hmm.
gonna set apart a place for you to flee.
Hmm. The Most High delivers him into his hand,
Hmm.
into his hand, and appointed you a place. Yeah, that's I recall a city of refuge
Refuge, con.
for the those who accidentally cause the death of one, so that their family don't avenge them. They go to the city of refuge, so they away from. And it's like seven of them. So
Hmm.
she was think that oh, I just go track them down. Well, there's seven different ones. So he can go from this one to that one or whatever the case. So verse 14. But if a man come uh, promiscuously unto his neighbor to slay him with guile, you shall take him from mine altar that he may that he may die. So if a
Hmm.
man come promiscuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile, you shall take him from the Most High's altar that he may die not.
Con.
That he may die.
Let's look at that word presumptuously.
Sumptuously, let's see. I think that's like intentionally.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well.
That's Zod. 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 Various spellings. Presumptuously. Yeah. Deal proudly, presumptuously, permiss, proud, side, boil up, to boil up, see, act proudly. Also, this has to do with pride.
Hmm.
Rebellious, promiscuous, be arrogant, rebel proudly. So I was thinking intentional, but this is more of pride, which definitely pride would be making intentional.
Without any shame in doing so.
Yeah, like, yeah, deal presumptuously. Sorry, okay, let's continue. Verse 15. And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. Well, that goes without saying.
Hmm.
Yes, indeed. Praise God that he stands on that. That's his principle passed to us. So he feels that same way. Verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. So, and no stealing and selling, or stealing and holding, because if you do, and if it's a man, yeah.
Con. And I'm thinking about how in West Africa, we were selling one another to the European powers,
Hmm.
transgressing these ordinances that we were given.
Okay. Well, think back to to bear sheep when they did to yourself.
Indeed,
Hmm.
indeed.
Hmm. And praise God, they weren't put to death because he meant it for his good, but for the good of the people. But whew, that was a close one.
Con.
That could have wiped our whole patriarchal line out.
Wow.
Yes, indeed. All of them had a hand in that.
Hmm.
Outside of yourself and Benjamin. So the other 10, they had a hand in that. So, um, all praises. Verse 17. And he that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. So that's why we get that, like this, black folk stuff. You don't curse your mama and your daddy. You don't do that.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
dead
But
man.
it's gotten worse in these last days here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
kids are killing their parents.
Negroes.
Our
So-called
kids.
Negroes are doing this. Yeah. Yes, indeed. It used to be when I was growing up, you didn't do that. White folks would do that.
Right.
We
Mhm.
didn't do
Right.
that. Yeah. Yeah. So, Whew, that was just a few short years ago. Just a couple, a few decades ago, and now it's a whole different animal. Verse 18. And if men strive together, and one smite another with a stone or with his fist, and he die not, but keepeth his bed, if he rise again and walk abroad unto his staff, then shall he smite, then shall he slicker, let me start that over. If he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smite him be quit. Only he shall pay for his loss of his time, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you hit a man and he don't die, you got to take care of his time that he was down. And if you get up and go through, then it's all right. You just got to take care of that. But let's see. I think there's more to this. Verse 20. And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall surely be punished. He didn't say put to death. He said punished. Verse 21. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. Mm. So I don't think this is a Hebrew here. I think this is uh, and I hate to say that without reading it, but hopefully we'll see some more here. Verse 22. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished according to the woman's husband with lay up on him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. So punishment here means restitution.
Gone.
That's what we're seeing when we talk about punishment here. Restitution is what you're going to have to pay. Verse 23, and if any mischief follow, then you shall give life for life. So if you bump into a woman and she lose her child because y'all was, going at it and you had no regard for those around you, uh, and then you keep on after the fact, life for life. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. And if a man smiteth the eye of his servant, or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let them go free for his eye's sake. He getting to the details.
Right.
And if he smiteth, verse 27, and if he smiteth out his manservant's tooth, or his maidservant's tooth, he shall let them go free for his tooth's sake. If an ox gore a man or a woman, that they die, when the ox shall be surely stoned, and the flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be quit. So the owner of the ox is not going to be responsible, but the ox got to go. But if an ox were known to push with his horns in time past, and it had been testified to his owner that he have not kept him in, but have he having killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and the owner shall be put to death.
Right.
So here's the responsibility portion here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, somebody come and tell you that your ox was pushing with them horns, man, and oh, it's okay. He won't do it again. and then he kills somebody, not only that ox got to go, now you got to go
Right.
because you were told. So at that point, you got to make a choice. Do I keep this ox and hoping that it's going to be all right, or do I put this ox down because it's already shown signs of of what's the word, aggression, signs of aggression. So you know, I think with this law, right here, your best move would be to put that ox down
Indeed.
and then eat it.
Right. But you know, in this land, you know, they have what's called involuntary manslaughter,
Hmm.
which, you know, you're not gonna find. I don't know that you'll find where anybody was put to death for involuntary manslaughter, but these are the ordinances of a peculiar people,
Kind
a people who the Most High had high expectations for.
Yes, indeed. And what you didn't have, and what we didn't see, what we won't see in this Torah, is rules of. You see, you talked about the ox there. We won't see a rule for having a serpent, you know, as a pet,
Hmm.
and then that serpent, you know, squeeze somebody to death, and what you're gonna be responsible for there, because that's not our culture. You know, that's
Con.
not something that we deal with. So we won't see that in the scripture in the Torah. So let's continue. Verse 30. Uh, if there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him. So it's possible that he could buy his way out if they ask for that. So it's possible they could say, instead of you dying, give us 100 G's or whatever. 'Cause, yeah, him being dead is not going to, I mean, it's not like he's responsible, yes, but it's not like he did it on purpose. It's not like he sought the ox to go out to, cause a death. But yeah, he's still responsible, still the responsibility, especially since he knew. Verse 31. Whether he be gored, whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter, according to the judgment shall it be done unto him. Mm. If an ox shall push a manservant or a maidservant, he shall go unto their masters 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit and not cover it, an ox or a donkey fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. Like you take care of that.
Hmm.
You dug that hole, you put that up, you uncovered it, you handle that. Verse 35. And if one man's ox hurt another, and he die, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money of it, and the dead ox also they shall divide. Or if it be known that an ox have used to push in times past, the owner have not kept him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own.
So you got to swap them out, or
Mhm. So
yeah.
your ox killed mine, your ox is now mine, and you take care of that dead one. Matter of
Hmm.
fact, we're gonna split the dead one.
Right, right.
Yeah. So wow, that's some interesting information to start. This is where he began with the Torah, giving them the information. So let's see what we on time here. We just an hour into it, so praise y'all. All right, let's continue. Go ahead, Akinanaya, if you don't mind picking up verse chapter
Con.
22.
This is the book of Shemot, Exodus chapter 22. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. So, you get caught doing this, you're gonna have to pay that much more from
Mhm.
what you stole.
So would it be even be worth it? I mean, it wouldn't even be worth it.
Right.
If I take one, so if you take five, then you talking, 20.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's not even worth it. So that would discourage theft right there.
Indeed.
What if you don't got the sheep to give up when you get caught? Like, what happens to you then? You probably
Let's see. I think we're
just
gonna get into it the next couple of verses. All right?
Verse 2. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him.
So that right there. So yeah, if you be found breaking up, you breaking up. That's like breaking in. So if they breaking into the residence, they breaking into the what's the thing, the stable where you keep
Mhm.
your livestock, trying to steal, and he be smitten so he die. So in the modern days, he be shot. You know, that's it. No blood shed for him because he was caught doing something he had no business. Verse 3.
If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft.
Mm.
Wow. Yes, sir.
So
yeah,
that's it. I get sold for your theft.
yeah.
My goodness. Have mercy. Verse 4.
And all right. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox, donkey, or sheep, he shall restore double.
Mm.
Wow.
So you're not even, this is, and again, this is to discourage theft.
Mhm.
Remember, this is a nation. A nation, this is all the children of Yaakov, 12 tribes, making up this children of this one man, made up of the children of this one man. We
Not
shouldn't be stealing and doing
uh,
evil one to another. What's that?
like 90% of the world's laws are based on this.
Kind, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, this is how you deal one with another. And that's why it's what we come to really understand what Hamashiach was teaching when he said the first, what is the greatest law? He said,
Mhm.
love the Most High with all your soul, all your might, and all your power. And the second is like unto it, love your neighbor as yourself. This is loving your neighbor, not doing evil to your neighbor, not doing evil to those who are in your own people.
Con.
Yes, indeed. Verse 5.
If a man shall cause a field or a vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field, of the best of his own field, and of the best of his own vineyard, shall he make restitution.
Hmm. You take theirs, you got to pay with yours.
Mhm. Verse 6. If fire break out and catch in thorns, so that the stacks of corn, or the standing corn, or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution.
Hmm.
If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he have put his hand unto his neighbor's goods.
Hmm.
So this is accountability,
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Like, what? Oh, yeah, man, your stuff was stolen. Oh, well, we ain't find nobody who stole it. We ain't found the stuff or the body that stole it. They're gonna bring them to the judges and figure out, now, was it stolen or was it did you got it? Did you
Right.
just want it back?
Have y'all seen him spending extra money here lately? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like they're
Exactly.
gonna get down to the bottom of it, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Verse 9.
Hmm.
For all manner of trespass, whether it be for ox, for a donkey, for sheep, for raiment, or for any manner of lost thing, which another challengeth to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor.
Hmm. So even if you bring any kind of dispute and it goes to the judges, if you lose your dispute, you got to pay double. So
Mhm.
if you're disputing over a coat, then you got to give he get the coat and you got to give him a coat.
Kind
So what does that do? That discourages
strife.
bickering. Exactly, exactly. That discourages. Oh man, you just take it. 'Cause I don't even want to. It ain't even worth it. Because if I lose, I'm gonna give you another one. So yeah,
Mhm.
you take that. It's brotherly love right there. You just have that. You know what I'm saying? So this is brilliant. This is really
Indeed.
brilliant. Praise God.
Verse 10. If a man deliver unto his neighbor a donkey, or an ox, or a sheep, or any beast to keep, and it die, or be hurt, or driven away, no man seeing it, then shall an oath of Yahweh be between them both, that he hath not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good.
So right there we see an oath to the Most High. So that's basically swearing. I swear to the Most High, and I never say that, but that's what it is. It's this saying that you have to make an oath, saying that you didn't do this. So we know in future Torah that if you swear to the Most High, then you don't don't do that in vain.
Mhm.
Don't don't just say it and don't mean it. So as children, we used to hear this all the time, and I always feared the Most High. I wouldn't say that. I ain't saying that. They say, I swear to God. Like,
Right.
I ain't doing that. I ain't playing with that one.
Mhm. Verse 12. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for witnesses, for witness, and he which not make good that which was torn. And if a man borrow aught of his neighbor, and it be hurt or die, the owner thereof being not with it, he shall surely make it good.
Mm.
But if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good. If it be an hired thing, it came for his hire.
Came to his hire. He came for his hire. So does that mean he's on the hook for it or what? If the
You know, I'm trying to understand it as well. But
owner
if the
thereof be
owner
with it,
thereof
he
be
shall
with it,
make it good. If it be for an higher thing, it come from his hire. So it seems like yeah, if you like, hey, let me rent that from you, or let
mm-hmm.
me borrow that, or yeah, I give you, I give you this if you let me use that. Then
Is that
you,
like just the wage? I mean, it would just be considered the wage of it, or
yeah, I mean, he got something for it. I guess he gave him something for it. It wasn't like it was free. He gave him his hire, as he said. He paid for it.
con?
We'll have to look deeper into that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Any of these that we can't draw an understanding from, if you can make a note of it, that way we can ask one of the elders, or
Huh.
someone who might know, man, where we can have an understanding for these, man, because
Yeah.
this is important.
Oh, absolutely. We make a note of 15.
All right, verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. Now if he entice a maid that belongs to another, or is betrothed to a man, he's committed adultery.
That's adultery. That should both be put to death.
Mm-hmm.
Glad they found, but yeah, continue.
All right. Verse 17. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So you know, we have a lot of that going on within our community now. Not the I wouldn't say so much the awakened community, but so many of our people, and I was once guilty of this as well. Looking at horoscopes,
Hmm.
just things of that nature, man. Something that I had to repent for. You know what I mean?
Praise God. You know, I'm thankful. You say you mentioned that. I'm thankful. I never was into that stuff. I heard people talk about it, that type of thing, and it never struck me. It never was like something I felt like I should be, doing. I've had a lady ask me if she could read my palm, and she said, "Oh, you see this and that," and I was like, "I'm not interested." I just was so it was so not appealing to me. Um,
Hallelujah.
Praise God. Um, let's look at this verse 16 here. It says, "If a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife." So, what is it saying here? Is it saying that a man, if he take a woman and lay with her, that he got to marry her at that point? Is that what we see?
Yeah,
Come,
As
come.
long as she's a virgin.
long as she a virgin, that's the key part. If she has to be a virgin, because verse 17 tells us that here, if her father utterly refuse to give her to him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. Can't get two dowries for a woman. You only get one dowry.
Hmm.
So that's why that exists. So you can't pay for a woman who is a widow or is uh, not a virgin. If she a virgin, that's the difference. That's what this maid here, woman entice a woman, if a man entice a woman who is a maid. Let's take a quick look at that. Uh, that's Bethulah,
Hmm.
Bethulah, and that is a virgin, a woman who has not known a man. So yes, indeed. So not to say go out and smash everything you want to smash. I'm not saying that.
Right. Not at all.
What I'm saying is that this law is specifically pertaining to virgins. So just because a woman throw herself at a man doesn't mean he has to marry her, especially if she's not a virgin. Now, if she's a virgin, it's a different situation. You gotta you gotta follow that. So you shall not suffer a witch to live, and that's pretty self-explanatory. Anybody doing witchcraft, uh, doing with the evil side of enchantments and things of that nature. And I see a lot of people, a lot of women especially, with these crystals around their neck.
Hmm.
That's some occulted type stuff. And in Israel, you show up with this stuff, and you're gonna fall under Exodus 22 and 18.
Come.
Yes, indeed. Verse 19.
Whosoever lieth with a beast shall surely be put to death.
Uh,
That's self-explanatory.
Come.
Yeah, that's self-explanatory. You do that, you die.
uh,
That's
Yeah.
filthy. That's filthy. You do it, you die.
uh,
Yeah.
And you know what's ironic is that it's regular practices. It's regularly practiced in certain places.
Yeah. Come.
uh.
Yeah, but not in Israel.
Right.
Hmm.
Verse 20. He that sacrifices unto any deity, save unto Yahweh only, surely he shall be utterly destroyed.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, that's
thou shalt.
self-explanatory.
Oh, Salakia, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I was just saying that's self-explanatory. Go ahead.
Indeed. Verse 21. Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Mizraim. You know, I uh, I wonder if Don't get me wrong, because we got brothers that hit the corners daily, weekly,
Hmm.
and bringing forth truth.
Hmm.
But I wonder, do they read that script right there the way that they uh, come at strangers sometimes, man?
Shall
Hmm.
not vex a stranger, right?
God,
No oppress him. So, what is the stranger here? Let's take a look at that.
yeah, con,
And
gar,
stranger, alien, sojourner, stranger, stranger, sojourner, a temporary inhabitant or a newcomer lacking inheritance rights, a foreigner in Israel through conceded rights. So this isn't this
it's
isn't
not
the enemy. This is
okay.
somebody either passing through, or this is somebody who, you know, just show up like, hey, just saying what's up and on my way over here. Uh, so you can't oppress him, but not that word is gar,
Gar.
gar, gar. Yeah. So yeah, this is this is a sojourner or a passer through type of person.
Mm-hmm.
So not a you know. So they shouldn't be with us long. Is what I'm getting here. This isn't somebody that should be coming to
That's
live.
that's yeah, that's sojourning with us. But it
Right.
did say that also a sojourner.
Yeah, a temporary inhabitant, a
But
newcomer,
the core of
lacking inherited rights. Inherited rights. So I think they just pass it through. Maybe they stay in a night or two, and they're gonna make they continue their journey wherever they're going.
is this not reinforcing the premise to love your brother as you love yourself, and to love all of the Most High's creatures, and show loving kindness to all things that have the spirit of the Most High in them? It's like we shouldn't have to be told to be nice, but the law is spelling out parameters for our behavior and character as we interact with human beings, just in case we need to be told.
Yeah, I mean he's got to set the bounds so that that's what you can and can't do. So
I'm
that it's not.
I'm
Yeah.
loving the aspect of it specifying you shall neither vex him or oppress him,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's telling you be considerate of people's emotions.
Kind. But even okay, and on top of that as well, I mean consider as we move forward in time, reading in the book here in time, you're gonna have tribes together. So you're gonna have Yehuda here, Benjamin here, Reuben here, Zebulun here, Asher here. So you're going to dwell amongst your own, and in those you're going to have your own government set up. So you'll have your own judges. You'll have your own powers that are set up to to take care of things. And so when you have somebody who's going from Reuben through Yehuda into Manasseh, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be somebody you may not know. I mean, we're talking millions of Israelites. So you're not gonna know everybody as well. Even though these your own people, you're not gonna we see people now. We don't know. It's a lot fewer of us than it was of them. But you're not gonna see, you're not gonna know everybody. So definitely change, don't be trying to oppress people and treat them in a certain way. Kind of like goes back to made me think about just then, in my hood. You come to my hood, what you doing in my hood? You know what I'm saying? That type of mentality.
Or, just don't treat anybody with anything less than love. You know,
Okay.
like like straight up, don't vex nobody. Like you were a foreigner at one point in time. You know what it's like to be a stranger out amongst your own, or whatever the case may be. It's like love your brothers, you love yourself, and don't oppress or vex out foreigners.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. But also, there's a time for war. So we got
For
to
sure.
keep that. Got to keep that in our minds as well.
Ah,
Because that teaching has made us very, very soft in this, in
hallelujah.
the land of our captivity.
Hallelujah.
Con,
So yeah. So you know, that's a problem that we deal with these people now. So we got to keep a balance. There's got to be a balance there. So let's continue. Verse 22.
ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child.
Now that
If
goes
thou,
without saying.
yeah, con,
Yeah.
if thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry out all unto me, I will surely hear their cry. You know, on Facebook or just coming in contact, with brothers and sisters in this walk.
Hmm.
I hear them say oftentimes, the Most High is not dealing with our emotions. I
Hmm.
would I would agree to that to a certain extent. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I feel like the Father does indeed care about uh, if we've been mistreated, unrightfully. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
And it's kind of what we're reading right here. You know?
Yeah. Kind. Yeah. You cry out, and He will hear you. We'll see that throughout the Torah, not just the widow or the fatherless child. Also, even the stranger, He mentions that as well.
Come.
Yeah.
Verse 24. And my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword,
Mm.
and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless.
Have
So,
mercy, Father.
yep,
Have mercy, Father. He said, "You vex the widow and or oppress the fatherless. I will make your people widows and fatherless."
yeah,
Now, again, that is incentive to not do these things
indeed.
because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. If you knew that this was going to happen, would you do this? Absolutely not. It's not worth it.
Come.
Let's continue on.
Verse 25. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as a usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. You know, uh, this is a square business, man. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
Uh, deal squarely with thy people. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Absolutely. Usurer, we know that's pretty much like an interest. Usurer, that's like a collector, I believe. Let's take a look at that here. I know usury is interest. So if you need 100 and I got 100 to give you, I can lend it to you. And when you're able to give it back, give it back. I'm not supposed to be coming to you every little bit. Like, hey man, where that money at you got me? LH you hold.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 2 months. It's been 3 months. It's been whatever. When you gonna get my money back? You don't get my money next time I see you, I'm gonna kick you. This type of stuff.
Come,
Uh, that's the Shah.
come,
Uh, let me see. Yeah, to lend, to be a creditor, to lend, yeah, credit. So to be a creditor, you know how creditors call you. If you're behind or if you haven't made the payment, they'll
uh,
call you and say, "Well, when you gonna make a payment? When can we
uh,
take the
it,
payment?"
it even calls him in one place. It calls him an extortioner.
Oh, did you see that? I missed
Yeah,
that.
con,
Oh, Slicker. Let me go back. Let me go back. Slicker. Slicker. Slicker.
and we know that these extortioners don't inherit the kingdom.
Oh no, definitely
Scroll
not.
if you scroll back up,
Oh,
yeah, like the times that it's used, lend, usury,
oh,
predator,
sort of.
extortioner.
Yeah, 2 times. 2 times uses extortion. Or
Yeah,
is that? Yeah, 2 times. Okay. Wow, that's good catch on that. I missed that. I went right over that. Yeah. So you know, no interest. I'm be like, hey, I'm gonna give you this 100. I'm gonna need 500 back in 6 months.
When Jews borrow money from each other, they never charge each other interest.
Right. Well, that's us. That's what we're not supposed to do that because.
On the banking system, so everybody who's goyim,
Mhm.
they
Pay.
Interest on everybody.
Fine.
Right. So, think about that. If we had a bank, how we could help our nation by lending to them with no interest. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I give you the ability to buy a house. Here's $250,000 or whatever units of money we're gonna use, and you just pay back just pay back what you borrowed, and that's it.
Man,
You know how
man,
wonderful that would be?
yeah, man, we be in a much better situation, man.
Yeah.
Praise, yes indeed.
You can't use a dollar without interest.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I don't know if it could be 30 years though. 'Cause that's a long time.
It's a lifetime for some folks.
Yeah, you have to pay that back a little quicker than 30 years. Uh, where we at? Okay,
Verse 26.
26 times. Go ahead. All
This is the book of Shemot, chapter 22, verse 26. If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down. So, you know, before the next day.
right,
You know what
before
I
the
mean?
sun go down.
Yep.
So again, right here, why would you even take it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Fine.
what good is it if you got to give it back to him before the sun go down? If he come to you and say, "Hey man, let me hold, give me 25 and hold my coat, and I'll give it back to you." When are you gonna give it back? As soon as I can. Take my coat. Just keep my coat. I'll give it back to you. Well, I don't want your coat because I got to give it back to you before the sun get down.
So what's that lesson really teaching us?
That's teaching you don't, let it get. One, don't lend what you ain't got. So if you don't have the ability, don't take from your food money and lend it to somebody, and now you can't eat. Your family can't eat because you done lent your money out. So don't lend what you don't got. Number one. Number two,
Well,
if you do lend it and you're able to lend it, don't be a doggone creditor to these people and to your people and try to beat them down about when they're gonna give it back to you.
but the law is clearly speaking to the person who received the cloak as the pledge. So somebody pledged the cloak to him.
Mm-hmm.
And the law is telling him when it get dark, don't think just because you got the right of the pledge over this person that you can keep their cloak past nighttime. Because if you don't have his cloak, as another place in scripture says, if you keep a man's cloak, you take his cloak past nighttime. It's like taking his life because he can freeze to death out there in the cold.
He don't have any way to cover himself. So
And
that's what.
that's what the next verse says as well.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead.
Yeah.
For that is his covering only. It is his raiment for his skin. Wherein shall he sleep?
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass when he crieth unto me that I will hear, for I am gracious.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, kind. So yeah, you can't take away. So it really don't even behoove to take it. So if somebody even in that situation where they even offering you their clothes,
You
if you
might want to take
take
it back in the morning just off of principle and the fact that you like, I don't know, maybe they didn't have no milk in the house. They ain't had no meat or nothing, and you provided meat for the family for a week. Brother said, take my coat as a pledge, and I promise you I'm gonna work it off. Whatever the deal might have been, it's like, no, I'm not trying to keep it cloaked for real, but I'll take it as a pledge. But I'm not gonna keep it past nighttime either. But listen, I do have a right to make sure I collect my debt. And the fact that you promised your cloak as a pledge doesn't mean that I don't have any right to enforce my debt to be paid. It's just this cloak, it's substantial collateral,
mm-hmm.
physical collateral, which is proof of our agreement. Since we're using this form of collateral to be proof of an agreement right here, what I can't do is use this cloak in such a manner that it would bring you harm or hardship. So if it gets dark, then obviously I'm supposed to return my cloak to you. But the principle of how we're supposed to be treating one another as a holy people, a set apart people, how we're supposed to treat our brothers. And so I think I think that's what's really being communicated to us here. It's like it's telling us right after that verse that if it gets dark, you ain't gonna have nowhere to sleep. Now, who sleeps outside and pledges their cloak for collateral? I mean, how are you gonna run into people like that? I think there's a bigger principle being taught to us to be compassionate,
Right.
not overbearing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
That's definitely the premise.
consistent with all the laws that came before it and the protocols and parameters which have been pointed out to us. What we're being taught in the Torah is to love the Lord our El with all our heart and to
Mm-hmm.
love our brother as we love ourselves. The rest of the law hangs on that. And we'll
Mm-hmm.
see that consistently revolve in each law. You know what I'm
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's continue.
All right. Verse 28. Thou shalt not revile the deities, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Hmm.
Okay. So look out right there. So that's not that. That's that word for that God word, GODS. That is equivalent to ruler.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So that's yeah. So that's what that means there.
All right. I
Yeah.
was struggling with that. I'm like,
Rulers. Yeah. Rulers, judges, that type of thing.
okay,
It
gotcha.
can, it can also go into divine ones, Malakim. Um, I hate to see this. I hate when they define a word with a word. I mean, that's just stupid. Like that's just. I mean, that's just stupid. Like, why would you even write that? I'm gonna put the same word. Get the heck out of here. You define you. This is what we're looking up. Why are we trying to look up and see what this same thing is? Come on, man. Don't do that. That's just lazy.
Oh,
Anyway. Anyway. But yeah, that's the ruler. So it kind of said it twice: rulers or curse the rulers. So you should not revile the rulers nor curse the rulers of your people. So remember, Shaul got in trouble for that in the writing. I want to say it was in Acts uh, when that the high priest said something to him, and he said he called him a whited wall.
uh-huh.
Yeah, and he didn't know he was a high priest. He had to apologize.
Yeah,
But
he was the master of the synagogue, wasn't he?
yes, he was in a high place. He was
Mm-hmm.
a ruler of Israel, and his response to him was uh, disrespect and you know reviling. He reviled him, but he said he didn't know that that was what it was. So it's
God.
also he's also teaching us to respect the structure that is put in place,
Mm-hmm.
respect the authority and the structure that is
Got it.
set. So all praises, man. We learned everything you need to know from this Torah. And
Hallelujah.
these are passed down principles that we got without even reading this book. Some of
Mm-hmm.
this stuff.
Indeed.
Yeah. So let's continue.
Verse 29. Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits and of thy liquors. The firstborn of thy sons shalt thou give unto me.
All right. Liquors. So let's check out that liquors there. Uh, ripe fruits kind of goes without saying. Let's check out what liquors are. That's
Dama.
dama. That's saying juice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't think I was thinking we might even see water there, some type of liquid, something to drink.
Well, it says liquor right here though. Juice. I guess juice ferments into liquor.
Indeed.
Potatoes or well, potatoes are a vegetable, but huh. Now, remember, Isaac told Yaakov, who will give you plenty of corn and wine.
Mm-hmm.
Corn is used to make hooch.
Yeah.
So we know in Sirach, it talks about you know wine is good for especially for the oppressed, helps you to you know kind of go from that place. So let's continue.
All right. Verse 30. Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen and with thy sheep, 7 days it shall be with his dam. On the 8th day thou shalt give it me.
Mhm. So we see the eighth day there. We know the eighth day circumcision. And again, he's saying the eighth day, offer it to the Most High.
Come. Yep. Verse 31. And ye shall be set apart men unto me. Neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field. Ye shall cast it to the dogs.
Mhm. In the field. Remember earlier he said if two ox tear each other, or if one dies, then they should split it. But he said that this one is found in the field. So what's popular, or it has been popular here, probably in Kentucky, roadkill.
Mm-hmm.
You know, find something on the side of the road, did take it and fix it up, not fix it up, but dress it up and eat it. And we can't do that.
Come.
That's not our culture. So, but I lost the internet.
Are you still? Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I'm still up, but this is not. Come on, here we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right, verse 23, chapter 20. No, we did 23.
Yeah, we're ready for 23.
Are we ready for 23?
Come.
Oh,
That was 22 that we just covered.
okay, okay. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and continue. Anybody else have anything else on 22 before we move forward? It should be set apart men, set apart people unto me. Neither
Mm-hmm.
shall you eat any flesh of anything that is torn. So we got that. We don't eat. We don't do roadkill.
Come.
Yeah. Let's continue.
This is the book of Shemot, chapter 23, sundry laws, verse 1. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness.
Mm.
You know?
So let's pause right there for just a moment. Uh, we just read in chapter 20, which we read, bear no false witness, should not bear any false witness. And here we get a little bit more into that. You shall not raise a false report, nor put your hands with the wicked to be an unrighteous wicked witness. I want to say, what book was that? Where they tried to frame that sister?
That was Rosanna.
Hosanna,
Oh,
hallelujah.
Shosanna. Yeah.
Hosanna. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And they came up with this plan to try to get her put to death. And because of what they did, they end up costing themselves their own lives.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. So that's what we're seeing here. Let's continue.
Verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment.
Don't follow a multitude to do evil, and don't speak in a cause to. That's if I understand that right, that's basically slandering speech uh, to make judgment. So or to rest judgment, to make judgment into something that it shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm. Or
Kind
trying to down talk the judgment. You know what I mean? Like saying, well, suppose you had you knew your friend had done something wicked.
mm.
So you talking to the people that would render the judgment, trying to tell them something not to do that judgment.
Oh, okay, kind, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Verse 3.
Mhm.
Neither shalt thou countenance, neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause.
Hmm.
If if thou meet thine enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again.
So look at okay. Pause right there for a minute. Let's check out this countenance here. What this term means. Um, Howdah, Howdah,
Hadah.
uh, honor, countenance, crooked places. glorious, put forth, to honor, adore, glory be high, to swell, swelling, honor, pay honor. Okay, fine. So neither shall you pay honor, or shall you uh, honor, countenance, crooked places, glory, put forth, put forth a poor man in his cause. I'm trying to make that make sense. So
Yeah,
that's what
con.
yeah, I'm just, we read over that. I'm like, countenance really don't, I really don't get that. It's not clear. Uh, hmm. Okay, we'll have to look at that one too. We'll make a note of that. That's 23, 23 and 3.
Con.
All right, let's continue on.
All right. Verse 5. If thou see the donkey of him that hateth thee lying under his burden, and wouldest forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him. So, help those of your brothers, you know what I mean?
Kind
Uh
Silika as well, because I meant to go back to 4. Uh, if you meet your enemy's ox or his donkey go astray, you shall surely uh, bring it back to him again. So again, now this is us and our land
mm-hmm.
amongst our own people. You're
God.
not going to always get along with everybody. It's not going to happen. It's not nature. Uh, there's going to be contention and strife that's going to come up. But this is how you govern it. This is how you deal with it. You treat your enemy as you do yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You, love your enemy, uh, especially those of your own people. And
Con.
that's a thing that has been taken out of context with us, and we have been taught to that everybody is our friend, and that we don't have any enemies. When Torah is telling us that it's some people in our nation that you're going to consider your enemy. But even that situation, if he lose his ox or his donkey, and you can help. That's what he's saying here. Deal with your enemy as you would with your bestest bud, your best friend.
Con.
Yeah,
There's another part of scripture that says a man's enemy would be those of his own household.
absolutely.
And
Oh, that's his own house, and that's typically not the situation because
typically situation.
Mhm.
But I think we see within the breadth of our patriarchs' teachings and the prophets' teachings that they instruct us to conduct ourselves with a higher level of enlightenment, compassion, and kindness towards even enemies that not only other people would show, but it's telling us to conduct ourselves in the most upright, righteous, kindness, loving manner possible, even when dealing with your enemies, dealing with the stranger. Obviously, love your brother like you love yourself, but the scripture's telling us love all that we possibly can. Obviously, we got to have some balance. And we're at war. We're actually captives. So, obviously there's a time and place for everything. But
Mhm.
the scripture's clearly telling us, love everybody.
Mhm. Absolutely. Oh, I can agree with that, and especially those who would do well to you, especially those people. But for those who come to seek you with the sword, can't love those people. You got to put them down.
Or you can put them down and love them. You can put them down and pray for them. And just because you love them doesn't mean they haven't grieved you, doesn't mean you haven't worked through all the emotional healing necessary to recover from that. Just because you love them doesn't mean that you don't exact justice upon people that are lying in wait to kill innocent people just because you love them. And just because we have to execute judgment or kill somebody or punish them in any manner whatsoever doesn't mean that we have to be bereft of love. It doesn't mean that. And the fact of the matter is that our destiny as a people is to be used by the Most High in the bringing of His kingdom upon the whole earth, and as much wrath and devastation as the Most High is going to reap upon the nations for the wicked deeds that they've committed. Our ultimate purpose as a people is to usher in an era of infinite love and peace upon the earth. But the leadership of Hamashiach and under the rulership of El Melech, our king, but to be more loving than any other people on the earth, that certainly befalls upon us and is enjoined upon us in our Torah.
I would have to wonder how how could one love evil and not be a participant of it, or how would you love those who do evil in a situation?
Because
And
the spirit of the Most High in them. It's not like you got to love their deeds, but the part of them that is animated by the spirit of the Most High, because His spirit is good. And the part of them that He created that wasn't evil, and the part of them that He made that didn't do iniquity, like those are good things, And if we lose sight of that, I think it's a very dangerous thing. It's very easy to lose sight of our humanity when we can't see those things. And it makes it very difficult, especially, I learned this, in interfaith ministry. If you can't see the spirit of the Most High in other peoples and other cultures, it's really difficult to connect with them and be a light to them and minister to them. And, he's talking about heathen people that are disgusting according to our Torah, according to my own judgments. Like it's so many Negroes I don't want to be around just because their ways are so lowly, filthy, and worldly. But the fact of the matter is those people that are going to be downtown protesting, they're not of the word. They haven't come into the awakening. They probably done heard about it and turned away from it. But fact of the matter is, I'm gonna love those people, And as much as I hate white people, I've learned that my ability to love them gives me justification from the Most High to be able to exact justice upon them, given the opportunity, because I'm not looking at them, from an emotion of hatred, from an emotion of revenge. I want to get vengeance belongs to the Most High. And I've let go of vengeance. You know what I'm saying? Vengeance belongs to the Most High. We were sitting there talking about what if a child strikes their parents? Well, I've had a child strike me. I had to see a surgeon, and I haven't killed him, and quite frankly, I struggled with it. But within the interim, I learned how to love him in spite of the great tragedy that he's perpetrated. Now, am I still going to kill him? First chance I get. First fucking chance. Excuse my language. But the fact of the matter is that I still hope for him to have paradise. I'll still pray for him. And more than I want to kill him, I want to love him. And that's my own child. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, yes, white people and it's people that are oppressing us, but they're children of Adam. They're our family.
Yeah, well,
They're our family.
kind. I agree with you, because at the same time, though Cain, though Cain was of that wicked one, Yahuwah still had mercy on him
Didn't kill him.
at that time, and
Didn't kill him.
yeah, he didn't kill him. He ended up wiping out the whole line, but
Straight up.
that was the judgment that they got. But
But he was not bereft of love.
yeah, he gave him time, and even when we
And that's a higher person.
right,
That's a more enlightened, more mature, a better human being. And for what it's worth, a person worthy to exact judgment and sit in a position of judgment upon them.
yeah, And we'll go back to that text. Let me go back there. Let me go over there real quick. Uh, just real quick here. Chapter 4. Don't want to cooperate with me. Maybe not. Okay, here we go. Boy, this computer's something else. I guess getting stuck. I guess all this information going through it. This processor probably not what my other one was. It's an i7. It's supposed to be the top of mine. Oh boy, this I tell you what. Anyway, uh, skip down here. I wanted to show point out one thing. Familiar with the situation and Cain slaying Abel, and then the Most High coming and talking to him about it. Verse 16, it says, "And Cain went out from the presence of Yahuwah and dwelt in the land of Nod, in the east of Eden, on the east of Eden." So even all of that happened in this conversation, uh, he asked him, "What have you done?" The voice of your brother's blood cried out from the ground. Now you are cursed from the earth and shall receive your brother's blood at your hand, or from your hand. And when you till the ground, it won't give you his strength any longer. Fugitive and a vagabond shall you be all the days in the earth. And Cain said unto the Yahuwah, "My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, you have driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from your face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me." And Yahuwah said unto him, "Whosoever slayeth Cain's vengeance shall be taken upon him sevenfold." And Yahuwah set a mark upon Cain, lest any find him should kill him. And Cain, even through all of that, even through the punishment and the mercy that he was shown, and Cain went out from the presence of Yahuwah and dwelled in the land of Nod that was east of Eden. So he still went out from Abba, as opposed to Abba going out from him. So I wanted to point that out. Give me one second. Let me hit this light. Whoever said thunderstorms look like they got it right because got dark all of a sudden.
Man, I'm just now noticing.
Yeah, I had to turn the light on. Like it's getting dark. Like kind. Okay, well we leave off at verse 5,
Let's see, verse 6.
verse 6. Kind. Okay.
Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor in his cause.
Yeah.
Keep yeah,
Uh, So again, dealing with the poor, righteously, not just not stepping over them. You know.
come.
Continue.
All right. Verse 7. Keep thee far from a false matter,
Mm.
and the innocent and righteous slay thou not. For I will not justify the wicked.
All right, let's park right there for just a hot
Indeed.
moment. Keep you far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay you not. For I will not justify the wicked. So it is not righteous to go at the wicked and Salika, to go at the innocent and the to go at the innocent and unrighteous and the righteous. I'm sorry, why I'm saying unrighteous. At the innocent and the righteous, slay you not. So don't go at them, at the innocent and the righteous. And and it's hard to say that's of any people because these other people have these other people. One of the problems that one of the big things that we read earlier, uh, sacrifice uh, to no power except for the Most High. So these other people were doing sacrifices to these other deities. And
Come.
that's why we'll continue to see in the future where there's constant conflict with those around us because they are dealing with their own idols. And they want us to deal with their idols Well, we're not dealing with your idols. We have the Most High. So we're not dealing with that nonsense. So, you want to say here that the innocent and the righteous would be of those people, but these people are innocent and they're not righteous because they're dealing with idols. So in their idolatry, they don't fit that criteria.
Con.
I mean, that's how I understand it. So this will definitely be dealing with your own people who are dealing in righteousness and not have gone off to deal with these other things. For I will not justify the wicked, and the wicked are those who go against the innocent and the righteous and slay them. So that's my understanding. It's anything else we can continue.
I'm in agreement, sir.
Con, verse 8.
Verse 8. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise and perverted the words of the righteous.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about bribes, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And it don't even have to be um, a big fat bunch of money. It could be just the slightest little thing. Somebody giving you something, and that's going to make you judge in their manner, especially if
Right.
you in that position.
Mm-hmm. Verse 9. Also, thou shalt not oppress a stranger, for ye know the heart of a stranger, seeing ye were strangers in the land of Mizraim. There we
Hmm.
go.
There we go. Yes, indeed. Yep. Don't oppress a stranger. So
So it looks like we're ready for the Sabbath and land.
okay.
Verse 9 of the book of Shemot. Oh, Salakia, verse 10 of the book of Shemot. Verse 23 of the book of Shemot. Verse 10. I don't know why I keep on blowing that.
That's
It's
all
the
right.
book of Shemot, chapter 23, verse 10. In 6 years thou shalt sow thy land, and shalt gather in the fruits thereof.
Hmm.
But the seventh year thou shalt let it rest and lie still, that the poor of thy people may eat. And what they leave, the breast of the field shall eat. In like manner, thou shalt deal with thy vineyard and with thy olive yard.
Hmm.
So, our kingdom and our government structure had its own social service system, man.
Hmm. Yeah. And not only that, I mean, what we see here is a Sabbath of rest. But the seventh year shall you let it rest and lie still. And the stranger and those other people, they can come and deal with it. But you're not even supposed to deal with the land at
Mm-hmm.
that point. Just let it be itself for a year and give it, do what you got to do in six. Take one and let it just rest. Do whatever it's going to do, and then you come back after that seventh year, and you count another seven. So we got to remember this.
Oh, Salakia, we lost you.
Oh, that weather's bad.
Yeah, Khan. Okay, your camera's back, but it's froze, and we got no volume from you.
Yeah, the internet probably acting up.
Yeah, Khan.
It's crazy out there. Whoa. I had my door open. Just couldn't resist.
Yeah, like it's gotten dark considerably over here.
It's
You know,
tornado.
yeah, we lost my eye.
Man, when I was growing up, they'd already had the tornado siren out. You know what I'm saying? Like every time it got like this.
Yeah, Khan. You know, I think what I need to do is try to finish out this chapter because I think we're still recording. So I'm gonna try to see if I can't finish through this chapter, man. Then we'll call it a study, man. But
Okay. Log back
yep.
in, huh?
Yeah, he might be able to.
Yeah, let's go ahead and finish that chapter.
Okay. And he just texted me he lost power.
Oh wow.
All right,
What
so
part of
we're
town
in the
is he in?
what'd you say? I
What part of town is he in?
we're over in Jeff, man. We're over in Jeffersonville.
Okay. All right. Oh wow.
But we're at verse 11 of the book of Exodus, chapter 23. But the seventh year thou shalt Salakia, verse 12. 6 days thou shalt do thy work, and on the seventh day thou shalt rest, that thine ox and thine ass may rest, and the son of thy handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect. So pay attention. Do it diligently. That's what he's saying. And make no mention of the name of other deities, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. So like a lot of times, we might read in the scriptures of the name of a deity. A lot of times I'll just give like the first letter of that name,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
uh trying to be diligent, in what he
Yeah.
says, you know.
Yeah. Fortunately, they've been translated and morphed over the years, but even still, I know it's like, man, we're not even supposed to say that. Why?
Indeed. All right. Verse 14. 3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in the year. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. We've did that a few weeks back.
Hallelujah.
Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee, in the time appointed of the month of Abib. For in it thou camest from Mizraim, and none shall appear before me empty. So, it's just bringing what we have, you know what I mean, during that time. Verse 16, and the feast of harvest, the first fruits of thy labors, which thou hast sown in the field, and the feast of ingathering, which is in the end of the year, when thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field. 3 times in the year, all thy males shall appear before Yahweh the power. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread, neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain unto the morning. The first of the first fruits of the land thou shalt bring into the house of Yahweh thy power. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. Be, behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Be Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Verse 22. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversaries. So this is a reason for us to, want to follow after what we've been commanded. It's blessings that flow from it, you know.
Hallelujah.
And for those that are still listening in, we've lost Hezekiah Yahoo. We've got some storms going on in the area. It's currently knocked out his power, but we're gonna continue complete this chapter, and then we'll adjourn. All right. Verse Salakia, verse 22, verse 23. For mine angel shall go before thee and bring thee in unto the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Thou shalt not bow down to their powers, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images. This is a command. My mother one time uh and mother had a a Christmas tree up in the house, and she asked me if I was going to spend the night there. I had to tell her no. I was like, I'd rather do that than to come in there and knock your tree down. You know, you know, I'd rather do that. Uh, verse 25, and ye shall serve Yahweh your power, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. Hallelujah. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land. The number of thy days I will fulfill. These are blessings. I will send my fear before thee and will destroy all the people to whom thou shalt come. And I will make all thine enemies turn their backs unto thee. So they're going to be fleeing from us. If we can just be obedient,
And he's telling them this like right after he just did. And so it's like, you guys are going to be a superpower upon the earth. Just do as I say.
Come. All right, verse 28. And I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite from before thee. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. By little and little I will drive them out from before thee, until thou be increased and inherit the land. So, just obey and endure,
Hallelujah.
Verse 31. And I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea, even unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and thou shalt drive them out before thee. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their deities. They shall not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin against me. For if thou serve their powers, I will surely be a snare unto thee. So uh again, we've got reasons to want to be obedient to these commands that we're being given. Like you said, our duty was to become a mighty, powerful nation, uh, not to oppress people, because we've read in here a few times that we're not to oppress people, but to be a light for these people. Uh, and we'll read later in scripture where you know these people are going to come to us to inquire about the Most High. You know,
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
yeah.
Hallelujah.
But you got any closing thoughts?
Man, honestly, when we first opened up, I was really, I always loved to hear the story about Mount Sinai, and it always takes me back to Enoch. Enoch is taken up to the heavens, where the Most High's throne sits on top of heaven. It always reminds me of the book of Revelations, when the Most High makes his dwelling with man upon the earth. And he sends his temple down from heaven, a temple not made by man's hands. And he comes down to the earth in the exact same fashion, covered in clouds. And his dwelling fills the temple, and it fills Jerusalem day and night with light, so there's never any night there. And to me, that's one of the most special parts of our tradition. One, because it was such an awesome time. We're, witnessing in the past the Most High bring the strongest nation in history at the time to its knees to free us. Then he does this remarkable demonstration of his glory and power at Mount Sinai. And in the end, Hamashiach is going to sit on the throne of David, and the Most High's temple is going to be in Jerusalem. He's going to dwell with us for 1,000 years. And just the sheer magnitude of power and majesty demonstrated through that. It's the most important thing in the world to me. That's why I'm so grateful to be alive in these days, even in
Hallelujah.
the kingdom. I know it's coming very soon. I see my enemy's kingdom being weakened from
That's
out
right.
and within. And once again, we made it to another set apart day. Let's not make any mistake. It's no small thing. And I'm so grateful
Man, indeed.
to see these things. Yeah, that's, that's what I took away from today. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All praises to the Abba. Uh, like you said, these are some troubling times, but also we see the fulfillment of the word coming to pass. And we can't boast in ourselves; we boast in our power, and that's our Abba. Um, you know, I like where we read in the one of the previous chapters. Becoming a peculiar people, and we're reading about the ordinances that set us apart from other nations. So I'm looking forward to continuing in this reading. Again, we had some small technical difficulties going on right now in regards to the weather, but uh, Yah willing, we will be back with you all next week, continuing this reading. I appreciate you being diligent and jumping on the call with us.
Hallelujah.
I'd like to close out with how my beloved Doc Hezekiah Yahoo ends out with peace and blessings to the 12 tribes, and we're all anticipating the Father regathering us, placing us in our own land where we could dwell safely with no fear, and we become one nation, one people, one family. Kwam Yasharala. You all
Wow.
be blessed.
Shabbat.
Shalom.
Oh.
Shabbat shalom, Mark.
Hey, Shalom, Aki.
Uh, just finished up that chapter we were reading in. You good over there?
Yeah. It's just the power went out, and I'm actually on my mobile. I just signed in to it. I'm gonna see if I can stop it because
Yeah, kind because it was still running when we got off.